Cowboys 27, WFT 20. The Cowboys, this game wasn't nearly as close as the score suggests because the Washington sort of tried to pull a Bengals or a
well, wait a second. Breech might want to tell you that Washington played equally as well as the Cowboys. It's just the score doesn't indicate it.
Oh, we missed!
Did Washington's punt returner fumble the ball twice?
Taylor Heineke fumbled it twice.
Yeah, well, that happens in games normally. A quarterback fumbling is something that happens in a regular NFL game. A punt returner fumbling twice does not regularly happen in NFL games.
It's a humiliating look for you to keep.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It's so
no,
bad.
I don't see how you guys don't see. It's obvious.
Yeah, it is obvious. That's for sure. I don't even know how on earth Washington, like if you didn't, I mean, I watched the game, so I mean, I know what happened in the game, but you look at the box score and you're like, how on earth did
it happen pretty quickly too?
Yeah. How did Washington score 20 points? Antonio Gibson, 10 carries, 36 yards, was a non-factor, fumbled. I think maybe twice, was not very good in the game. Taylor Heineke, 11 of 25, a $122, a touchdown and a pick. Charles Sims was their leading receiver, 4 targets, 3 catches, 69 yards and a touchdown.
That one catch he had over Trevon Diggs is one of the best catches I've seen all year.
Crazy. 43-yard touchdown catch. So, I mean, he didn't do much either. Terry McLaurin didn't have 4 targets, no catches. The Cowboys were up 24-0 at halftime and just cruising right along. And then Washington just scored 2 quick touchdowns. There was a pick 6 of Dak and who is Jay Williams for the, who is Jay Williams
for who? He played
Washington.
for Duke.
Jonathan Williams?
Oh, is it? Oh, it is Jonathan Williams. There you go. I mean, I'm not afraid to admit when I don't realize it. Washington didn't do anything, got completely outplayed in this game, had no business being in it, and somehow clawed back. Pretty big win for the Cowboys, all things considered. Breech. More importantly, the benches.
Do you guys want to eat your words? Because you were slamming Mike McCarthy for having the gall to say, we're going to win this game, both of you.
I didn't slam him.
Well, Brinson did.
Ron Rivera slammed him.
Brinson slammed him.
I always slam Mike McCarthy.
I thought the benches were a hilarious touch.
I like the benches.
That's what I wrote on Twitter. It'd be like bringing your own chairs to a restaurant. It was weird, but I don't hate it.
Well, you also said in that tweet that that's something that you do all the time. Which
of course.
I almost guarantee you that like the Washington football team is incredibly cheap with everything really, but that they use like crappy visitor benches. And the guy was
and that was the report from ESPN. It said that the Seahawks had said the visiting benches there were below par, and they told the Cowboys that. So Jerry Jones was like, all right, well, we're not going to use your crappy visitor benches. We're going to fly in our own benches. Like seeing the giant white benches that say Cowboys on it in Washington Stadium was pretty hilarious.
Imagine spending $30,000 on travel costs to send those benches there and being the field manager at the football team stadium, wherever they play now, FedEx Field, and seeing the truck back up, and you're like, I can't let you in here. Like, we're going in there.
Like, no, you can't. Let's give me now. Dio's got a picture of them. Look, those benches look. They have like electronics. I'm picturing the Washington benches as just old school
high school benches,
like
aluminum,
park benches,
like firm. You're sitting on them for 5 minutes, and your ass is killing you. Your
back
is hurting. Oh yeah. And the
Cowboys. If you're the Cowboys, do you take these benches to every away game now?
Yes.
I think you do.
The Cowboys benches look like the Tempur-Pedic of NFL benches. They're super comfortable.
Like Xbox on there.
Probably adjust to your body temperature. I mean, I could sleep on that thing.
I mean, look, Washington FedEx Field is a dump. Like everything about it is a dump. That's where RG3 tore his ACL in that playoff game against the Seahawks. The press box is probably number 32 in the NFL in terms of like sight lines. You can't see 30% of the plays that are happening. It's way out there.
That's a bug, not a feature. I mean, that's not a bug. It's a feature.
Right. I mean, walking. When I parked and I went to a Monday night game up there for some reason and covering it, and like I was like parking and walking by myself. I was like, and walking back to my car. I was like kind of nervous. Like it's pretty isolated out there. I mean, it's not anyway. So yeah.
I will say one thing about the Cowboys, though. Even though they won and jumped out that early lead, I'm still a little concerned about their offense. They weren't that great in this game. They scored 2 touchdowns, but the Cowboys scored 2 touchdowns, but one was a defensive touchdown. And their second touchdown was set up by a Taylor Heineke interception where the offense only had to drive 40 yards to score. And that was it. The offense only produced one touchdown. And so it's been a few weeks now where we've seen them kind of struggle.
1 for 6 in the red zone is a problem.
Yes, that is definitely a problem, especially when you're playing really good teams in the playoffs and not Washington.
You know what I'm not concerned about? Micah Parsons.
Good Lord.
He is awesome. But the offense is a legit concern. But the defense, strangely enough, is not a concern or much less of a concern. Trevon Diggs, as we mentioned, was in coverage and had a chance to make a play in that Sims touchdown. He's been playing well. D-Law had a couple big plays. They had another defensive end whose name escapes me right now. Returned the Micah Parsons strip sack for a touchdown in the first half.
Dorrance Armstrong.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Randy Gregory had a big play in this game too. Micah Parsons, by the way, has 12 sacks with 4 games left, the most sacks by a rookie in NFL history. Javon Curse, 14.5. Alden Smith had 14. Pretty, obviously Alden Smith had off-field issues, but, Dwight Freeney's on there, Simeon Rice, Leslie O'Neal. It's pretty impressive company to keep. Is there a case for Micah Parsons to win Defensive Player of the Year?
I mean, there's a case, but I think right now I'm going with my guy TJ Watt. And
Sure.
Myles Garrett is up there. And then I think Micah Parsons is third. Trevon Diggs, I think, has to be in the conversation as well. He has 9 interceptions or whatever he has.
I think I'm going Myles Garrett. I mean, he scored today, obviously, but and we didn't mention that when we were talking about the Browns Ravens.
The Browns fans will tell you that his sacks aren't big time sacks, where TJ Watt's sacks are all big time sacks. They're always going down to the wire anyway, because they're not blowing anyone out. But yeah, I couldn't argue with Myles.
TJ Watt pops up in big spots.
I think, no one's arguing that Micah Parsons is a slam dunk defensive rookie of the year, and you can give it to him now. And then he finishes 3rd or 4th or whatever in the actual defensive player of the year. And that makes sense. But again, if he continues along this path that he's on, absolutely. He has been, and I would imagine, if taking into account that last time he played edge rusher was in high school and didn't play football last year. I mean, it is crazy. Maybe he should be playing quarterback.
I mean, it really is wild that and if you think about, the draft as it went down with Parsons, he fell, I think, to the 12th selection after
only off-field stuff he fell.
No, it's because he was a linebacker. But if people know
he fell because of off-field issues. He didn't.
I know that caused him to fall as well. But people were drafting him as a off-ball linebacker, not as a.
Yeah, but Devin White went top 5.
Fair. I'm just saying that if you told everyone who was drafting in 2021,
that's right.
That Micah Parsons is this terrifying edge rusher.
No, you're right.
I think Daniel Jeremiah actually had maybe mentioned that before the draft, that he thought Micah Parsons could be that. No,
I don't think so. I don't think anyone was talking about it because no one knew.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard.
I don't even know how he ended up there in Dallas.
It's because DeMarcus Lawrence got hurt.
Oh, okay.
They were like, we don't have anybody to rush the passer. Hey, Micah, you're playing edge rusher, so they put him on there. I mean, doesn't Atlanta take edge rushing Micah Parsons over Kyle Pitts?
You're right. If he were strictly an edge rusher, he would have gone higher, regardless of the off-field concerns that teams may have had.
I think Atlanta just takes him instead of Kyle Pitts, and then since he goes Jamar, I don't know. I mean,
yeah, there's a case to be made, and Kyle Pitts is an awesome player.
Brian, TJ Watt has already missed 2 games. If he misses another game or 2, would that make you not vote for him? Or would you think, he still led the NFL in sacks, even though he missed 3 games, so I'm going to vote for him?
He can't. I don't want him to miss. He can miss another game, but then he has to come back and have like 2 sacks in the subsequent games that he plays, because that way his sack percentage is insanely high, because he was leading the league after missing 2 games. I don't know what the sack race is now, if Myles Garrett caught him today or not.
That's a good question. I mean, Myles Garrett has a strip sack for a TD. I think Myles Garrett is if you see Myles Garrett at plus money at this point of the game, with the Browns trending towards making the playoffs, and Garrett having this big splash play against the Ravens where they up their chances and he scores a touchdown, I would definitely consider. I would bet any Myles Garrett plus money if you can find it.
Is TJ Watt plus or no?
I'm assuming they're all plus, like plus 200 or something like that. And Watt with the injury, if he misses, you only play 13 or 14 games, you're probably not going to win the award.
Would you sprinkle a little something on Micah Parsons for?
I would consider it. I mean, if he goes ham down the stretch and the Cowboys win the division and he breaks the rookie sack record and Dallas is winning because of their defense the way they've been the last few weeks, he could steal the award. But typically speaking, peanut brains like Pete Prisco are gonna give they're gonna give one vote to Micah Parsons for rookie of the award.
Pistachio brains.
Yeah, a little pistachio like Prisco is gonna give
Peanut Prisco.
He's gonna give a pistachio Prisco. He's gonna give Parsons the defensive rookie of the year, and then give someone Garrett or Watt the defensive player of the year to just spread it around. That's just how that tends to work.